Alright, you guys, so we got a babysitter for the day. About to take the Grape Ape out. You guys haven't been on a ride with this one yet. I got my new Vulgar bag in the mail today, so I got the Vulgar bag on the front of the bike. We're just gonna take it out, have a nice little cruise since we got a babysitter. Since this bike is carbureted, we'll let her heat up a little bit. I did want to let you guys know that Power Vision 4 that I got for the lowrider made a world of difference. That thing is amazing. The bike runs amazing. So now I want to get this bike out, enjoy it, have a little bit of fun with it, and gonna be getting a Daytona Twin Tech ignition for this bike here. I'm just actually waiting right now to purchase that, so we'll see. Also shaved my front brake lever down on this one, so it's a little bit easier to have fun with. Yeah, so the Grape Ape's running pretty good. Bike is definitely a strong runner. I enjoy it. It's very fun. It's a very fun bike. For being as old as it is, I really like this bike a lot. Actually feels like a Harley, vibrates like a Harley. So it's always fun to get out. I don't have the little guy with me, so I could actually take this bike out. I'm not worried about him falling off the back. I'm not putting a backrest on this one, so that's why I don't put him on this one. This bike is just set up for fun, and that's how we want to keep it. We got to rotate the bikes out here, you know what I mean? Take the purple bike one day, take the silver bike one day. I actually looked at an Indian Challenger. I think I'm going to go look at it. They have it at my local Indian dealer up the road here, Johnny K's Power Sports. So I'm gonna go look at it. I'm really interested in them. They're putting out a lot of horsepower. It's a very high performing motorcycle, and I was thinking about buying a full dresser Harley, and I said, you know what? Nobody's got the Indian Challenger around here. There might be a couple of them, but you don't see it every day. So that was my determining factor. I really want to have something that not too many people have, and I really like the Indians. I think they're doing a good job with them bikes. I'm never going to get rid of my Harleys, but I would like to add an Indian to the collection. And if I don't like it, they're holding their value pretty well. They're selling for over what you're paying for them. And I'm sure anybody who's in the market looking for a motorcycle right now knows that these things are selling way above what they should actually be selling for. So the wife is out. She's enjoying that bike. She loves that Sportster, so do I. I think she looks great on it. Everybody keeps trying to get her on a bigger bike, which my goal was to get her on the 2020 Lowrider S, and then I was going to go buy a bagger and then do a lot of upgrades to it, get that performance bagger feel going. I love the way they do those bikes. I love everything about them, so I figured, why don't I do one, you know what I mean? This is my most nimble bike. This thing just feels great. Feels like a giant dirt bike. Feels like I'm sitting on a 450. I'm so ready for Sturgis. We got everything ready. Got a giant cooler in the mail, so it's gonna be a great time. I also got a ton of business cards out, so anybody watching this video or watching any of my videos, I'll be at Sturgis. I'll be passing out business cards. I got a bunch of them made up. So yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna get that Daytona Twin Tech ignition for this bike. It's gonna allow me to set up the advance. It's gonna allow me to set my rev limiter, so this bike will be running so much different once I get that on there. I'm so anxious to get that on there. I just want to be able to fry the tire better, and it's like this thing limits me. It cuts you out at a certain RPM, so you can't really get as much control as you want on it. I think the stock ones are like 5,200 RPM. I was doing my research on it. It said that 5,700 RPM is pretty much the top that you want to run these engines at. Mine will be set at 6,200 RPM. I know guys with stock 88s that are running 6,500 RPM. I'm going to do the 62 and I'll see how I like it, because it is all fully adjustable. I will be showing you guys a video of that. I did order a tracker die case saver, because before I start beating on this bike too hard, I want to make sure I protect it, just give myself a little bit of peace of mind. So Britt, you got no excuse for falling behind. That's a 1200. This thing's only 1300 cc's, so I give her a hard time, but she's a really good rider. She's been riding since she was 16 years old, so she had her motorcycle endorsement when most people were getting car licenses. Pop, 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 pop. This bike is so much fun. Sounds great. Shift smooth. I adjusted the clutch. I'm addicted to all these motorcycles. I had a 93 Dyna lowrider, 16,000 original miles. The paint was like an 8 out of 10. The bike was absolutely gorgeous. Had a little bit of engine work done to it. It was a very quick bike for an 80-inch Evo. That thing hung with 103s, so it was definitely done right. And I loved it. Threw a Mikuni carburetor on it, got a little more fuel in her, and was a great bike. And I wanted a 6-speed. I wanted a newer Dyna. I wanted that 6th gear, and I went out and bought one and sold that 93 lowrider, and I regret it every single day. That was probably one of the funnest Harleys that I ever owned. It does remind me of this one a lot, so that's why I really don't want to get rid of this one. I did just read an article about Ohio, talking about how Ohio does have the largest number of motorcycles per capita in the country. So that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. We don't get a lot of time to ride here, but when we do, we get them out as much as possible. Yeah, do you like that? Sometimes you just gotta slam on that back brake. So the Lowrider S was giving me issues with the rear brake since I bought it. I was trying to figure out what was wrong with it. Well, here I bled it like 2 or 3 times. I was still having issues with it. There was like it felt like it didn't have any pressure. I mean, it had pressure. I felt like the wall, I would come to it, but it was not stopping the bike. Here I ended up taking the top off of the Master, and there is a little rubber, I guess it's kind of like a gasket that goes in between the top and the Master itself, and there's like a little tiny slit on the back of that Master, and air was escaping from that slit. I was watching as I was pumping the brakes. The next time I was pumping them brakes up, and I seen this little hole, a little pinhole, and a little bit of brake fluid was coming out of it. And I'm like, man, maybe this is my issue. So I took that gasket, I put it on the actual top part of the Master lid, and gently set it down on there, snugged it up, and then tightened my 2 bolts up, pumped it up again, and it's amazing. It's day and night difference. I actually slammed on it, and the ABS actually came on. Before, there wasn't even enough power or pressure to activate the ABS, and I don't really like ABS. I feel like I have more control over the rear brake of the bike without ABS. And to each their own, it's a personal opinion, but for me, I like to do what I like to do. And I feel like I have way more control over the bike. I do not need a computer telling me when my brakes should and should not be locking up. It's nice for new riders, people that haven't been on a motorcycle before, because they might panic and slam on that rear brake. And guess what? You slam on that rear brake, wherever you're leaning your body weight is where the ass end of that bike is going. And if it's going the wrong way, you may high side. And if you're a new rider and you high side your bike, it's not really going to be something that you're going to easily walk away from or enjoy. If you don't learn how to handle your bike, you could get into a situation. I've came around bends and hit gravel, and you know, your first instinct is to lock up your brakes or at least touch on your brakes. Well, you're sliding on gravel and you hit your front brake, that your whole bike's washing out from underneath you. So situation like that, you're coming around, you slide on some gravel, you want to hit your rear brake. How do you guys really feel about Harley Davidson being taken to court over the Fair Trades Committee or whatever, over their warranty issues? If you're like me, you understand the moment that you buy a Harley Davidson, you're going to have a horrible warranty. Now, the warranty's great if you keep all stock parts on it and have them do the service. Do I think that's fair? No, I don't, but I knew what I was getting into buying a Harley. I don't buy it for a warranty. When there's motorcycles on the road still being raced, the League of Gentlemen, the Trog race, the Race of Gentlemen, they're racing 1910 Harley Davidsons, 1912 Harley Davidsons. If these things are still running, you think I really need a warranty on that bike? No. The only time I would need a warranty on that bike is if I buy a new one, because now they have computers in them, and now they have all this extra garbage on them, and they're not a completely mechanical bike like they used to be. These older 1910s, 1912s, they were all completely mechanical, and you could work on them, you could fix them all yourself. That's why I like this 2000 FX DX, baby. Clapped out. She screams. She runs great. Completely mechanical. There's not really much to this bike. And don't get me wrong, you can make these a 95. These 88s are runners. They are absolute monsters. They are gorgeous motorcycles. The engines are super simple. They're easy to work on. Parts are everywhere. Hey, there's an Indian right there. Hey, that was a girl with her daughter on the back. Did you see that, Britt? Yeah, that was a girl riding that bike, and she had like a 12-year-old daughter on the back. That was cool. So hopefully we see them, because we're heading out to the lake. We got a local lake out here, Lake Milton, so we'll hit you guys on a little cruise out there. We'll probably pull up. They got a floating pavilion. I like to take pictures of my motorcycle there because I'm really cheesy. I just think it's kind of ridiculous that the government is going to go after Harley Davidson over their warranty, especially now. What has it been, 30 years they've been running this warranty the exact same way? And who is really to blame, Harley Davidson or the EPA and all these government agencies that put all these restrictions on them and fined them and sued them for all the things that they did put out? So, I mean, Harley kind of had their back against the wall when they did what they did with their warranty, and I see why. Why would you sell a bike that the government made you neuter the bike? They made you take away the power from the bike because they wanted to be compliant with the EPA. And then the first thing you do when you buy the bike is you go buy a bunch of aftermarket parts and throw them on the bike. Why would Harley not try to capitalize on it? Do I think it's right? No. But Harley has been fighting the custom scene, man, since the 1920s and 30s. All these guys that were racing these Harleys, they weren't putting Harley parts on them. God really opened up and let the sun out today. It is gorgeous out here in Ohio. The weather is absolutely perfect to be on a motorcycle. here's the lake, you guys. That's one side of it. There's a whole nother part. It stretches all the way back. I always thought, before I actually got on boats out here, that it kind of ended over there. No, there's like a little passage that goes back. There's a couple nice spots. It'll go way back far into there. We're gonna go ride around the lake because it looks like there's a lot of people over there at the pavilion, so I'm gonna hit a cruise around the lake. Oh, look at the cars. Couple bikes at the Grandview Tavern. That's a nice little bar. They got amazing food and drinks. Brittany, you hungry? You want to stop at the Grandview? We'll head down here, do a little circle in the beach, come back, stop at the Grandview and get a burger. All right. How good was that burger? Yeah, well, you have like some kind of weird red meat thing. The burger that I got was absolutely amazing. You do have high cholesterol. Not like I make it easy on you, because everything I cook is covered in cheese. But my burger was absolutely amazing. Covered in bacon, had kibasi on it. Oh, it was delicious. Feel a heart attack coming on. Yeah, so they had fried pickles in there, and they were fried pickle spears. Not the slices like I thought they were. They were fried pickle spears. Absolutely delicious. Had chicken and dumpling soup with one of the biggest burgers I've ever had. So there's the little floating pavilion. It's really cool. It used to have railings all the way around it, which is nice if you have little kids, but they took the railings off, which is really cool because I like to swim off of it or go fishing off of it, you know what I mean? Really nice, really nice. Who? It might be. I thought that was Bill, my buddy Bill. That's like the same color boat he's got. So I did want to take the giant trip all the way around the lake. My wife said, can we not do that? That road is extremely bumpy. All right. We'll save your butt, because she doesn't have the best suspension on that bike. For some reason, every time someone buys a Sportster, they're like, hey, let me throw some 8-inch burly slammed shocks on it. No, lift that thing up. Lifted bikes turn way better, they handle way better. I just wanted to get a shot of you riding your bike, because it fits you quite nicely. And your sissy bar looks really nice on there. Like, that's just a nice bike for you. You want to take the highway? No. Oh, you hate the highway. I love it. Big old shrine. We'll take you guys on a walk up there. It's pretty neat. Let's go check this shrine out. I'm keeping my helmet on, Britt, so I look really weird. The priests in here are going to be like, I'm not even coming out to talk to him. Nope. Man, look at those two gorgeous motorcycles out here at the shrine. Did we set someone's car alarm off? I just hear a car alarm going off. We just gave a little juice coming by. So this shrine's pretty cool. Yeah, so people come up here and they put some change or a dollar bill or just a little trinket. They put it out here, the Virgin Mary's feet, and then they say a prayer. Lots of people do it for their loved ones that passed away or something like that. There's also a building inside here where you could actually go inside of it. Whew, out of breath after eating that food. So the last thing I wanted to do was walk up 3 flights of stairs. Nice little view over the countryside. The landscaping here is absolutely gorgeous. They take care of it. I believe they have some monks here. So she's pretty cool. Yeah, we used to put stuff in the toes. Somebody's got some candles, some fake flowers, some little trinkets, some rosaries tied around, but it's pretty nice. I like to stop here and enjoy my life a little bit. It's absolutely gorgeous. They walk around back. There's some statues and monuments there, so it's really cool. And just something a little unusual that you don't see on a daily basis.